When it comes to business, what does great service actually look like? Is it about being super fast, or is it about being super thorough? Today, we're jumping right into that debate, and we're going to be drawing on some amazing work from Adrienne Barker and her company, Professional Global Etiquette.
Okay, you know the feeling, right? That little notification pops up, it's a new client, maybe a big opportunity, and right there, in that split second, you've got a choice to make. Do you shoot back a reply right now to show you're on top of it? Or do you take a breath, think it through, and come back later with the perfect strategic answer? This is the exact conflict we're digging into.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll set the stage for the debate. Then, we'll hear the case for speed, followed by the case for strategy. After that, we'll look at how things like global culture and technology change the game. And finally, we'll wrap it all up to help you find your own style. All right, let's get right to it. You know, this isn't really about how fast you can type. What we're actually talking about here is a clash between two totally different ways of thinking about business and what it means to be a true professional. So, in one corner, you've got Team Immediate. Think of them as the sprinters. Their whole philosophy is that a quick response builds trust right away and helps you win the business before anyone else can. But in the other corner, you have Team Strategic. They're the thinkers. They believe that pausing to craft a quality answer and managing expectations is what builds real, lasting client relationships. So let's start with Team Speed. Their argument is pretty powerful because, let's face it, in the world we live in today, being fast isn't just a nice to have. It can be your biggest advantage. And listen, this isn't just some textbook theory. Adrienne Barker literally built her company, Professional Global Etiquette, on this exact idea. It's living proof that this do-it-now approach can be a massive driver for success. Now, here's a really crucial point. Immediate response doesn't mean you have the perfect solution in 30 seconds. No way. It's about immediate acknowledgement. It's that quick little reply that says, "Hey, I got your message, I'm on it." That simple act transforms a customer's worry into confidence. They feel heard, and that is huge. And when you do that, a few amazing things happen. First, you just wipe out that customer's anxiety. You know, that "did they even get my email" feeling. Gone. Second, in a crowded market, you immediately jump to the front of the line. And often, that momentum is exactly what you need to close the deal. Okay, but that's only one side of the story. Team Strategic has a really strong counterpoint. They'd argue that the fastest answer is almost never the best answer, and that taking a moment to think is the real sign of a pro.
Team Strategic kicks things off with a pretty tough question. Think about it. If a client chooses you just because you replied in 2 minutes flat, are they really valuing your expertise or just your reaction time? They argue this kind of sets up a frantic relationship based on speed, not on the quality of your work.
And here's the big risk. We've all done it. You rush to reply, and you end up giving an answer that's kind of half-baked, or worse, just plain wrong. And that one rushed email can create a whole storm of follow-up questions and confusion, taking up way more time in the long run. So the strategic approach is all about being in control. When you set clear expectations, like saying you'll respond within 24 hours, you come across as professional and reliable. It also protects that precious, deep work time. You need to do great work, and it sets healthy boundaries, so you don't burn out from feeling like you have to be on 24/7. Looking at it this way really spells out the trade-offs, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got scattered attention. On the other, focused expertise. One path can lead to burnout, while the other leads to sustainable, reliable service. It really makes you think. But just when you think you've picked your side, things get a little more interesting. Because in the real world, factors like different cultures and new tech can completely flip the script. Take culture, for instance. In the US, a super fast reply is usually seen as a good thing. You're efficient. But in some business cultures in East Asia, for example, that same speedy reply might come off as desperate, or like you didn't give the question the serious thought it deserved. So sometimes taking your time is actually a sign of respect. Now, this is where technology can be your best friend. A smart autoresponder can actually give you the best of both worlds. You get that instant acknowledgement that Team Immediate loves, but you also get to set clear expectations, which is exactly what Team Strategy is all about. The key, of course, is making it sound like a human wrote it. This all leads to another big question. How do you sort through the noise? This chart shows it perfectly. If you try to respond immediately to everything, it's chaos. Everything feels urgent. The strategic approach is better, but check out the hybrid model. You use that immediate acknowledgement to figure out what's actually an emergency.
It's a powerful way to bring some clarity to your inbox.
So, after all of that, after hearing from both sides and looking at all the complications, where do we actually land? Is there one right answer to rule them all?
Well, here's the dig aha moment. Maybe this was never an either-or question to begin with. The real genius might be in being strategic about when to be immediate. The best pros don't just blindly follow one rule. They know when to hit the gas and when to hit the brakes. And that brings us to the real bottom line. The most important thing isn't whether you choose speed or you choose strategy. The most important thing is that you're intentional about your choice and then you're consistent. Pick an approach, own it, and stick with it. Because at the end of the day, that reliability is what really builds trust. So I'll leave you with this one question to mull over. Your response time isn't just about minutes and hours. It's a statement. It tells the world what your priorities are, what you value, and what kind of partner you'll be. So, what message are you sending?
And again, a huge thank you to Adrienne Barker and Professional Global Etiquette for sharing the insights that made this whole discussion possible.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully, this gives you a whole new way to think about your inbox. The next time you see that email pop up, you'll know the choice you're making isn't just about time, it's about everything.